Broadcasting from down on the bayou, it's the Average Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, powered by Lake Area Media, LLC. And now your hosts, David Boston and Patrick Fry.
And welcome to episode 116 of the AMP Wrestling Podcast. My name is David Boston. He is Patrick Fry. And before we get everything started, here's a simple way you can help you boys out here on the podcast. You know, you see up there, you see the Patreon link, but you're saying to yourself, Mikey, I'm just like you guys. I'm broke as a joke. I don't have any extra money to give you, but I do shop on Amazon from time to time. Well, there's a great way where you can help support the show and shop on Amazon at the same time. All you have to do on your phone or your browser, go to tinyurl.com/Amazon AMP. That's Amazon AMP. What that's going to do, it's going to send you to our Amazon affiliate link. Save that on your browser as your Amazon link. And every time you shop at Amazon, we'll get a percentage back. It's about 4%, 8%. So everything adds up in the long run. So if you would do that, we sure would appreciate it. Patrick Fry, what's up, man?
Oh, not too much, man. Ready to talk some more wrestling or wrestling, whatever you want to call it. I'm about 6 days removed from a tooth extraction, so but I'm feeling pretty good. It's been kind of going. I'm not in pain, but definitely got a little tenderness, a little soreness still coming in and out. So I'm going for a little checkup though tomorrow just to make sure everything is going a-okay with the recovery process. But it's like in the mornings, it feels, I feel like there's something that could be bothering you, but in the afternoons I feel fine. So I don't know what's going on here. Maybe it's after I brush in the morning. It might feel that way, and then as the day goes on, it just gets better. So I don't know, but I think everything's okay, and I'm able to talk, so that's the most important thing right now as we get ready to record the podcast. But on today's episode number 116 of the AMP Wrestling Podcast for Tuesday, October 19th, 2021, we're going to preview WWE Crown Jewel, which is in 2 days over in Saudi Arabia. We're also going to talk about the AEW buy-in and Rampage going up against Smackdown last Friday night. Also, during that buy-in, there was a match between Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki that was quite interesting. We'll talk about that match as well. Also, Eric Bischoff made some interesting comments, gave some, quote, unsolicited advice to Tony Khan. And we'll talk about that. And then we got some rumor mill stuff for you. Braun Strowman met with a wrestling company CEO for a long chat. WWE's Madison Square Garden show main events. Is there another Retro Raw on the way? And also Karrion Kross getting a gimmick change again. All that we're going to talk about coming up here on the AMP Wrestling Podcast episode 116 for Tuesday, October 19th, 2021.
Find us on your favorite social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Just search AMP Wrestling Podcast.
Marcus in the chat. What's up, y'all? What's up, Marcus? As always, we appreciate you coming to hang out with us here, whether we do the show on a Monday, Tuesday or Thursday, really are the only 2 days we kind of do it. But, if there's any other days of the week, Marcus is always there. So, Marcus, certainly we always appreciate it, brother. Come and hang out with us. But let's go ahead and dive into the first topic here. We're going to talk about WWE Crown Jewel, which is coming up here. And I had the match card up here. So not quickly, but kind of go through it here just a little bit and talk about it. Actually, not too bad of a match card, in my opinion. I've seen some wrestling fans online say that they're actually kind of excited. This might be the most excited they've been for a Saudi Arabia show. Marcus said, hanging with y'all before I head to make this money. That's right, man. Go make that money. Hopefully sooner than later where you work at, they'll be taking some of my money doing some sports gambling. But hopefully that's sooner than later. I'm still impatiently waiting on that. But, for the Crown Jewel show this coming Thursday, a lot of wrestling folks, like I said, a little more excited about this one. They really have some good matches, some very good potential for this show to be pretty good. on Thursday. It's actually going to be coming on Thursday, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. So for most of you, myself included, who will be at work, I'll be following along because I've said it once, I'll say it again. Peacock is absolute trash, and I'm not spending any money on Peacock. So yeah, they can have that. But I think let's see, the first match here, I'm gonna try and go in order of least important to most important. Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. Mansoor is actually from Saudi Arabia. I don't know if they really used him a whole lot on WWE television outside of the Saudi Arabia shows, but I guess he's a pretty solid wrestler, and he's going up against Mustafa Ali, who's a guy who's I've always been a fan of, very smooth in the ring. I think that should be a pretty interesting match there.
You think since he's from Saudi Arabia, he goes over?
That's what I was about to say. I suppose Mansoor might they might put him over here. Get the.
That's BS.
Well, we'll see how good he is. I think. I want to say he's
not Mustafa Ali good.
Well, he might not be Mustafa Ali good, but it's professional wrestling. Anybody can beat anybody on a given night. But I think he is a. I want to say he was on a Saudi Arabia show in the past. I don't know if he was on like the very first one they did. It was the Greatest Royal Rumble. If he was a member of that Rumble match or whatnot, or he was on a show before. So it wouldn't be, I don't think it's his first time on WWE television. At least not in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if he's ever been on any WWE television not in Saudi Arabia, but. So that's probably going to be, I don't know if they're going to have a pre-show or not. That may not be the first match, but then again, putting Mansoor over just to kind of please the hometown crowd, which I don't know. In the past, the shows I have watched from Saudi Arabia in the past, it's like all I guess the important Saudi people who sit on the floor. It's more like a social event than them actually watching the show. So. But they do have a lot of kids, I think, that in Saudi Arabia that are WWE fans that are not sitting up close and personal that are going to be invested in it as well. So that's a singles match. Maybe it'll be a good match. This next match, I think, has a potential to be very good. It's going to be Edge versus Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. This is a rivalry that kind of goes back a long ways. It all started, I think, about 7+ years ago when... Seth Rollins, this is when he was with the Authority, and he threatened to really, I guess, break Edge's neck with a curb stomp onto the Money in the Bank briefcase, and this allowed John Cena to bring back the Authority after they gotten rid of them. And obviously, since Edge has been back almost 2 years now, he's had his run-ins with Seth Rollins, and even more so recently, and now they've built up this pretty nice little feud here. Hell in a Cell, too. Yeah, this has a potential to be a really good match. I saw a picture of Edge. I think he shared it on his Instagram. Tell you what, Edge is pretty ripped. And Marcus Talbot said he faced Cesaro. So, yeah, he must have faced Cesaro, I guess. I don't know if it was on WWE television in the States or if it was on a prior Saudi show. But Marcus said he faced Cesaro, so I bet that was a pretty good match. But as far as Edge goes... yeah, I don't know if you saw this picture, David, but Edge looking really ripped these days. And, Edge is obviously up there in age, but seems like he's in the best shape of his career.
Yeah, he's been in phenomenal shape ever since he came back. And I don't know if you saw the thing on YouTube a while back that WWE produced. He still eats a case of donuts himself every week.
And that's it. You're talking about Edge, right?
Like 12 donuts in a pop.
Well, hey, look.
And he looks like that.
Well, hey, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I wish I could eat a whole box of donuts every week and still have that six-pack. But, yeah, Edge versus Seth Rollins, I saw some fans. They think this has a really great potential to be a tremendous match. I think it could be. They've had a pretty good build-up for it, in my opinion. So Edge versus Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. And then you have the two tournaments, the finals for the two tournaments. The first one is the Queen's Crown Tournament. Now, before this tournament got started, I was hoping that, Liv Morgan, this would be her time to get a push because it seemed like the fans were starting to really get behind her. But she actually got eliminated in the first round. So now the final And I'm not even upset about the final because I think one of these two women certainly could use a push, and this would be a good thing for them to start that push. It's going to be Doudrop.
No, this final's straight garbage.
Well, it's going to be Doudrop versus Zelina Vega. I mean, obviously, Doudrop, who used to be known as Piper Niven, she's been around for a long time. I still don't know why they changed her damn name, but they're famous for doing that in WWE as of late. And then, of course, Zelina Vega, who got released, came back, and was wondering what they were going to do with her. So I don't know. I really don't know who they could give this to, because, you know, obviously in recent years, at least with the King of the Ring tournament, it's like whoever wins the tournament, it becomes their gimmick, that they're the king. Obviously, they had King Corbin, they had King Barrett, just to name a few, and like it becomes
King
a gimmick.
Booker.
Yeah, King Booker. And it becomes a gimmick, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the way they book it for the women. Is that they're going to be like the queen? And obviously, you know, Charlotte Flair kind of has that gimmick going for her right now. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to give it to Doudrop or Zelina Vega. If I was a gambling man, which I am, I guess I'd put money on Zelina Vega to win this, just because she's, I guess, a little more well known than Doudrop. Doudrop is still fairly fresh, at least her gimmick is, and her name is on the main roster in WWE. So I guess I'd give the edge to Zelina Vega here. But yeah, the Queen's Crown tournament was a good idea, and like I said, if Zelina Vega wins it, I won't be too upset about it.
Why is she still holding on to the whole Doudrop thing? Is she still with I don't know, what's that hot chick's name that she was with at first?
Eva Marie.
Yeah, Eva Marie. She's still with her?
No, I think Doudrop turned on her and separated herself from Eva Marie. So I don't know what the whole Doudrop thing is about, but I guess, and I was about to say maybe WWE, I guess they would want to keep her rolling, but like I said, WWE, they're famous for just changing up stuff with gimmicks, names, whatever the case may be. So, but I guess they like what they got with her right now. So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not invested in it. I think it's garbage.
All right, well then let's go to the next match. It's the King of the Ring tournament finals. I'm really looking forward to this match. I think these two guys can really put on a fantastic match. It's going to be Finn Balor versus Xavier Woods. There's been a lot of fan push for Xavier Woods to win the King of the Ring tournament. And then you also have Finn Balor, who as of late has really had they've been calling him the Prince. Obviously, before he was in WWE, he was Prince Devitt. So now they're just calling him the Prince, and now they're using the whole, can he go from being the Prince to the King to win the King of the Ring tournament? I would be fine with either guy winning. I'm a huge Finn Balor guy, but I think Xavier Woods, obviously, he's part of the New Day, and you got guys like Xavier Woods who's already become WWE champion, Big E, who is the current WWE champion. So, Xavier Woods, and obviously they've had countless tag team titles between the three of them as the New Day. So Xavier Woods adding King of the Ring tournament champion to his list of achievements would certainly just add to the long list of achievements to them three as a trio. So I'm looking forward to this match. I think it could be a really good match.
It looks like Marcus is all about some Xavier Woods winning the match. He says, Woods.
Yeah, see, look, like I was saying, a lot of the fans are really backing Xavier Woods to win this thing. But like I said, I'm a big Finn Balor guy. I mean, I have a Finn Balor coffee mug at work. And I would not be upset if he won, but I would not be upset if Xavier Woods won, because I think Xavier Woods, and it goes back to what I was saying about the whole thing with the WWE, whoever wins the tournament becomes a gimmick. I would be all for King Xavier Woods and him really getting into that sort of gimmick.
But I mean, Woods has always been the third wheel of the New Day. I mean, obviously, Big E, he was an NXT champion back in the Dizzle. Kofi did his thing, had a few belts before he had the heavyweight championship belt. Now Big E's the champion. It seems like they're almost sitting in the back room going, you know what? We really feel bad for Xavier because he's the only one in the New Day not getting any action. We got to throw it his way, even though he doesn't deserve it. Yeah, he's funny with a trombone. But, I mean, what has he done to deserve a push like the King of the Ring can give you?
I mean, look, Xavier Woods has been around a long time. He's won countless tag team titles. He's a great wrestler, too. He's had some really good matches. I mean, he hasn't really had, being in a faction and being with a tag team, he hasn't had that chance to really show off his singles, show him his skills off as a singles competitor. I think he's very charismatic. And like I said, I think as funny and as entertaining as he is outside of the ring, I think he could really take that King of the Ring gimmick and just run with it and make it very, very entertaining, because the last couple of guys who've won this have been heels, and so it's been bad guys winning this tournament. Let's let a good guy win it and have some fun with it. And I think Xavier Woods would be the right guy to have a good guy win this tournament and have some fun with that gimmick.
And see, I'm so lost in the whole WWE universe ever since AEW came around. Is Finn Balor a heel now?
I don't think he's a heel. I haven't, the way they've been booking him, at least from what I've seen, I don't think he's a heel. But then again, I think they're just kind of booking him to be kind of neutral right now. So, he's never been a heel in WWE either. He's always been, a fan favorite. Fans love him. So, I don't know. I mean, unless he does some heel-like stuff, and I don't see him turning heel, but then again, I could be wrong. Marcus said, I know this is all he talked about. His dream was to be King of the Ring. So apparently, I guess that's a little bit of a storyline there, too. Xavier Woods, his dream was to always be the King of the Ring. So I think... Go ahead.
He's just checking off those bucket lists. Tag team champion, Bang Page, King of the Ring.
Hey, well, I don't know what... I tell you what, on top of that list, Bang Page has got to be up there as far as I'm concerned. That's quite the accomplishment for old Xavier Woods there. And I remember, I still will never forget when the Usos and the New Day had that rap battle, and the Usos said, "Don't go, hey, Big E, what's good, Big E? Let's keep it PG. Just don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods." And boy, that was man. Good times, bro. Good times. But I got to give the nod to Xavier. I think he's going to get it. And I think they're going to give him that gimmick of being the King of the Ring. And he's going to run with it. And it's going to be fun to watch that. So I'm looking forward to hopefully Xavier winning and him running with that gimmick.
They can bring back the pancakes and give all his loyal subjects pancakes.
There you go. Look, there you go. Just another good idea there. All right, the next match, a no-holds-barred match. It's going to be Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. Now, I know, obviously, Crown Jewel has always had that feeling like obviously when Goldberg and Undertaker fought at Crown Jewel or whatever it was, I guess it was still called Crown Jewel whenever they fought. And it was just a terrible match because you had two old guys who really can't put on a five-star match anymore. Go at it. But now you got Goldberg going up against Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley, I think, should go over in this match and can carry Goldberg in this match and put on an actually decent match. And then it's no holds barred. So you don't have to have, a technical wrestling match in the ring. You can kind of get some weapons involved. You can kind of brawl it out a little bit, which I think is more Goldberg's style and where he thrives a little bit better. But I don't really have much thoughts on this match other than Bobby should still go over, and because Goldberg is obviously trying to get revenge for Bobby putting his son in the Hurt Lock back at SummerSlam. So now Goldberg is back for a little revenge on that. But I think this has potential to be a decent match because it's no holds barred, and I would like to see Bobby go over Goldberg.
Yeah, I don't get it. You put on this shooter type match where it's no holds barred, and obviously everybody knows Bobby's a legit bad mofo.
Yeah.
Been competing in the MMA, beating dudes' faces in. I mean, obviously there's no way Goldberg could even stand a chance against this guy. But because he's Goldberg and because the Prince wants Goldberg, man, we may see a Goldberg win here, dude.
I'm kind of with you there. Like, I feel like Goldberg could win this because, one, it's not for a title. So, but, and it's one of those things. Goldberg's going to come back, and obviously Bobby's still a heel. So, Marcus said if Goldberg doesn't get involved, keep the storyline of what happened, then I don't care. But and like I said, that's kind of what it's all about right now. Goldberg is basically just coming back at Bobby Lashley just for Bobby Lashley putting his hands on his son. So I don't even know if Gage is going to be there or not. I don't know if they're going to let him go all the way to Saudi Arabia. But yeah, like I said, this is better than two old guys going at it. But I could see a scenario just because there's no title on the line or anything where Goldberg gets the better of Bobby Lashley and, kind of comes back, gets the revenge, and then, and it's in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi prince might be a big Goldberg fan. He likes all those old legends. So I definitely would not be shocked to see Goldberg win this match at all.
Maybe Gage can come in and kick Bobby in the balls. I like doing stuff with the balls over at WWE.
Maybe so. That is very much a possibility. So if Gage is there, I haven't seen if he's going to actually be there or not. But if he's there, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't get involved and try to do something dirty. And it's no holds barred, so anything goes. So there you go. Marcus also said, give Big E his dream match against Goldberg. I'm all for that. Just so Big can live his dream. I think that'd be a fun match as well, Goldberg and Big E. And I would be just shocked if that happened either, but I guess what time will tell. Speaking of Big E, the next match, singles match for the WWE Championship. Big E's going to defend against Drew McIntyre, two really big guys that can move very, very well. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a really good match. I think these two guys can put on one hell of a show. Two big, strong guys, two big athletic guys. What does Big E like to say? Just some big, meaty men slapping meat or something. I don't know, something like that. Something like that is what Big E likes to say, and that's what this is going to be. This is going to be two big guys just going at it in the ring. I think these two guys are going to put on one hell of a match. I don't see Big E dropping the belt to Drew McIntyre, but I definitely see these two guys putting on one heck of a match.
Yeah, what did I yeah, you say that, and then I saw this on the rumor mill, but we didn't put it on a rumor mill, but it says no titles are expected to change hands at Crown Jewel, at least according to the latest odds from bookmakers Bet Online.
Well, that's that doesn't mean necessarily anything. I mean, there's only, let's see. Well, there's 4 titles on the line: the Universal title, the WWE Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, and Raw Tag Team titles. So this is the first title match we talked about here. But, yeah, those odds makers, I mean, obviously they could be wrong because putting odds on professional wrestling, anything can happen in professional wrestling considering it's predetermined. But, yeah, it's I could see one title that's going to get changed. But then again, I don't know because – we'll talk about that match here coming up in a little bit, but let's go ahead and dive into the next match. It's going to be RK Bro, my favorite tag team in WWE right now, taking on AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team titles. I don't see RK Bro giving up the tag team titles just yet. I could see a scenario where, well, maybe not, because I know they want to kind of break up AJ Styles and Omos and kind of let Omos start to go do his own thing. But I think AJ may have said, I don't think he's ready yet, so let's continue the going here and whatnot. And then I'm ready for AJ Styles to be back as a singles competitor as well, because he's going to be on they're on Raw now. So I think he could certainly would be fun to see him challenge Big E for the title in the upcoming months or whatever. That'd be a great feud, I believe. AJ Styles and Big E for the WWE title. But I see RK Bro retaining here, and maybe, I don't know when, but at some point, AJ Styles and Omos are going to break up. Omos will start doing his singles thing, but only obviously when he's ready. I don't know how far along he is yet as far as him being ready for a singles run, but
Well, if they're going to wait until he's ready, then AJ is going to be a tag team partner until he retires.
That could be the case, but I don't know. We haven't seen what Omos can do full just yet. But yeah, Marcus Talbot said, "Big meaty men slapping me." Yep, that's it. So yeah, that's what the term was there. So, but RK Bro, AJ Styles, Omos, I think RK Bro is gonna retain here. I like what Randy Orton and Riddle have been doing there. One of my favorite things going on in WWE right now.
But did you see his wife blasting him on social media?
I did
about leaving their family.
Hell yeah, I saw that. Apparently, she deleted the tweet. But I mean, hey, you leave a tweet out there for 30 seconds, someone's screenshotting it and holding on to that. So, yeah, that was very interesting. There's always been some, obviously with Riddle, always been some interesting outside the ring things going on with Riddle. So. I don't know. I think him and his wife have a very unique relationship. Let's just say that.
Yeah, maybe he left you because your ass is crazy.
That could very well be a possibility, but who knows? So, all right, the next match is the triple threat match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this is the title I see changing hands because right now Becky Lynch is the champion, the SmackDown Women's Champion, but she was drafted to Raw. So why? And so was Bianca Belair. So 2/3 of this match for the SmackDown Women's Championship has been drafted to Raw. And these rosters go into effect after Crown Jewel. So it's almost too obvious, but it seems like Sasha Banks should win this match because Sasha Banks is still going to be a member of the SmackDown roster. So I don't know. I see Sasha Banks winning. Maybe it's too obvious. I don't know, but because if they keep the belt on Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair, or give it to Bianca, then obviously Becky Lynch and or Bianca, they're going to have to be on SmackDown. But that defeats the whole purpose of the draft that just happened a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know, but I see Sasha winning.
Maybe they want another like invasion type angle, you know.
Well, Survivor Series is coming up, yeah.
She brings it to Raw, and she's like, "Look, Raw's my home now. I got the SmackDown belt. If anybody wants some smoke from SmackDown, come challenge me here at Raw."
Yeah, that could be a possibility, and because Survivor Series is around the corner, and obviously Survivor Series has always been, as of late, a Raw versus SmackDown kind of thing where they've had SmackDown invade Raw and vice versa, but I just see Sasha winning this, and but then again, I don't know. WWE likes to make things not make sense, so I don't know. Maybe Becky retains, but I could see Sasha pinning Bianca. That way, Becky gets protected, loses the belt, doesn't get pinned because she still has not been pinned. She came back, beat Bianca, and she hasn't been pinned since. So, and then obviously she had to give up the Raw Women's title when she got pregnant. So it's been a while since Becky Lynch got pinned, and I think they're trying to continue that streak of her not getting pinned. But
last time she got pinned was from Seth Rollins.
That's right, and he must have pinned her pretty good. He put
her in that small cradle.
There you go. But I see Sasha winning this match.
Put her in that Campbell clutch.
There you go, bro. And no telling what else he put her in. But yeah, like I said, I see Sasha winning this match. So yeah, that's all I really got there. They're going to do a swap like the titles last year, is what Marcus said. It's possible because Charlotte is the Raw, because she actually defended it last night on Monday Night Raw against Bianca Belair. I heard that was a really good match on Raw, by the way, last night. And I think Charlotte is now on SmackDown. So, yeah, Marcus, you're right. I could see that scenario happening too. So that is definitely a possibility. They've done that before with the tag team titles, I know. I don't know if they've done that with the women's titles in the past. I don't think they have, not that I can remember. All right, and then the main event of Crown Jewel is the WWE Universal Championship. It's Roman Reigns defending against Brock Lesnar. And I tell you what, I know we've seen this match numerous times before, but this one, it feels a little different to me because this is the first time you have Roman versus Brock, where Roman is with his obvious new gimmick as a heel, the tribal chief. And another plot twist is that he's got Paul Heyman in his corner when obviously Brock Lesnar has had Paul Heyman in his corner so many times over the years, and I feel like they've built up this match pretty well. It's been pretty, to me, it's been fairly simple. Brock Lesnar returned, and also Brock's new look. I did see a thing where Roman said that how, he likes Brock's new look because it gives him a little more personality. It kind of allows him to be himself a little bit, because this is, I think the way Brock looks right now, with the little ponytail, the beard, and just his attire and everything, I think that's the real Brock Lesnar that we are seeing here when he's not, wrestling, when he's at home, in his personal life. This is that's the Brock.
Banging Sable.
Yeah, banging Sable. That's the Brock that you see in real life, and I think Brock's done a great job here with this feud, because it's been, every week I've kind of seen bits and pieces of it, but like Brock is trying to get in Roman's head, because obviously Paul Heyman is the special counsel to Roman Reigns, and obviously Paul Heyman used to be the advocate for Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar keeps, getting into Roman's head, making Roman think that Paul Heyman is still sort of on the side of Brock Lesnar. Apparently he said Paul's the reason that Brock Lesnar is a free agent. They had the contract signing back on Friday night, SmackDown, and they handed it to Brock, and Brock simply just signed it, and then Roman's like, Brock, you must be stupid or something, because what idiot would just sign off on the contract without even looking at it? And then Brock hits him with well, Roman, you see, I've already looked at the contract. I looked at it earlier with my advocate, Paul Heyman, and then just dropped the mic and he walked out. And so he's playing with Roman's head right now, making Roman. And I don't know. We might see a swerve where Paul turns on Roman and joins forces back with Brock. So that's an interesting twist to this feud here, because you obviously, like I said, you got Paul Heyman, who's been with Roman for the better part of a year, or maybe a little over a year now, because Brock hasn't been here. And then when Brock came back, obviously, he's been saying Brock, Paul knew Brock was going to come back and all this thing. So Brock has been getting in Roman's head, making Roman question Paul Heyman's loyalty to Roman and the bloodline.
Well, it seems like the smart play for Paul, right? I mean, no matter who wins, you're the winner too, because if Brock wins, you could be like, hey, I helped you out, put me back on the payroll. But if Roman wins, you could just be like, hey, Brock was lying.
Yeah, there you go. And, hey, Paul Heyman's a smart guy when it comes to the wrestling business. He's playing both sides of the fence here. So I like that angle that they've been playing with this. So I'm very curious to see how that match plays out in Saudi Arabia. I could see a scenario where Brock wins, but definitely Roman's beaten Brock before. So I don't know. And it's one of those things, if Roman does beat Brock and holds on to the Universal title, then who's going to beat Roman? Exactly. If Brock doesn't beat him, I don't see anybody beating him. So I don't know. But my gut tells me Roman's going to retain, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. But that's a Crown Jewel happening Thursday, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on Peacock. Y'all let me know how it goes, because, once again, Peacock is trash and I'm not spending money on it. So I'll follow along on social media on Thursday. But
hey, before we get out of Crown Jewel talk here, PW Insider says talent heading to Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel will need to have a negative PCR test before departing. And they also say that the belief is, from the people they've spoken within WWE, all talents going to the event have been vaccinated as well. So yeah, I don't know. We could see some card changes here if somebody has a positive PCR test.
You are right.
They fly out.
Yeah, that's a good observation there, David. Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. And we know, obviously, with anything, even before the pandemic and everything, cards always subject to change, although it rarely does happen. But in today's day and age with the pandemic, it's even more likely that it could happen. So yeah, good point there, David. But all right, let's move on now to the AEW buy-in and Rampage taking on Smackdown. It was a big talk last week. Smackdown and AEW, the buy-in on YouTube, and then Rampage kind of going head-to-head for 30 minutes there. And I got some quarter-hour numbers here from the head-to-head here on how Smackdown did. Now, this is what made things even more interesting because of the Major League Baseball playoffs. SmackDown had to be moved to FS1, so they weren't on their typical Fox network where they draw easily 2 million viewers every week. They were on FS1 where they draw significantly less viewership. So, with that being said, I'm just going to go straight to, this is the numbers that starting at the 9, I'm going to say this is Central Time, by the way, 9 to 9:15. This is quarter-hour numbers here. So, 9 to 9:15 Central Time here. This is the numbers. Total viewership, SmackDown 882,000, Rampage 663,000. So SmackDown total viewership has the edge there. But let's look at the specific demo, persons 18 to 49. Rampage 363,000 viewers, which is basically half, over half right there. And then SmackDown only had 200 and 77,000 viewers. So Rampage from the 9 to 9:15 quarter hour, Rampage actually had more viewership from the target demo. And this was also Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks and then CM Punk versus Matt Sydal. This is what was happening during the 9 to 9:15 quarter hour. So Rampage actually defeated SmackDown in that quarter hour in the 18 to 49 demo. So that's kind of big, if you ask me, for Rampage there.
Well, it's a start, but I mean, when you really, really look at it, you think, okay, so if WWE was on Fox, they would have annihilated them. Number two, FS1 for some people is an expanded package. So people may have TNT, but they don't have FS1.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like FS1 is a pretty, for the most part, I think most people have FS1. That's just because I have FS1 on all my main cable packages that I got. I mean, I got two of them, but one for the house and one for when I'm on the road. But yeah, I feel like FS1 is in the majority. It's not in every, but it's in the majority of basic cable packages.
Now, what I thought was impressive, almost because like the time that I logged on to start watching the buy-in on YouTube, almost 400,000 people had logged on to watch it. And then as of right now, it's over 1 million views. And then who in the heck put 951 dislikes on this video? That must be Facebook admin Randy with all his troll accounts.
Is that on the buy-in YouTube video?
The buy-in, yeah.
Well, I watched the buy-in.
Because the buy-in was fantastic.
It was. We're going to talk about Danielson and Suzuki coming up here in a little bit, which was the featured match on that particular broadcast. But I logged on. I want to say the concurrent viewers, like people who are just currently watching, I want to say it peaked at like 98,000 during this Danielson-Suzuki match. So obviously a lot more people than that watched it, but watching at the same time live, I saw it peak at like 98,000 people, which is, it might have got to 100,000. I never saw it get to 100,000. The highest number I saw, and I was kind of watching it as the program progressed, but it was at 98,000 is what I saw it peak at. But real quickly here, I'm going to tell you the 9:15 to 9:30 quarter hour numbers here. SmackDown total viewership 874,000, Rampage 541,000. But it looks like the demo 18 to 49, 293,000 for both of those programs, SmackDown and Rampage. So they actually tied right there with the demo. So it seems like total viewership goes to SmackDown, but man, Rampage, when it comes to that target demo, I mean, they are right there.
Yeah, no, I care nothing about WWE anymore. So I'm definitely an AEW fanboy now. So they definitely get my views.
And the overall, those are just quarter hour numbers. The overall numbers, the demos for Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage were both 0.24 persons, 18 to 49. Men 18 to 49, Rampage actually got a 0.34 versus WWE's SmackDown's 0.32. Persons 18 to 34, Rampage got a 0.17, SmackDown got a 0.15. So the demos, like, it seems that, AEW, in some of the key demos, like, they're either right there or they're beating WWE. So overall viewership, though, like I said, 866,000 for SmackDown, 578,000 for Rampage. So the overall viewership, and I think like the one demo that WWE's SmackDown did much better over is persons 50 plus. So the old folks, or a lot more old folks watching WWE SmackDown versus AEW Rampage. But I tell you what, man, the demos, man, AEW's is right there in the ballpark with WWE. But I would love to have seen how those numbers would have been had WWE SmackDown been on Fox versus Fox Sports 1.
Well, it sounds like some of these old farts need to see Ty Conti's backside, and maybe they'll start watching AEW a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe so. And there's also a chart. Most recent AEW Rampage versus the most recent. They got the NXT Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite, which I don't know how to read this, but persons 18 to 49. Rampage would have beaten out the most recent NXT by 61%, would have beaten out the most recent Raw by 73%, and was even with SmackDown. So there you go. But so it seems that Raw would have beaten them out by 73%. I'm wrong. That I said that one wrong. So Raw would have beaten out that demo by 73% versus the most recent Rampage, that is. But yeah, I don't think that particular demo necessarily matters, other than it looks like the male 18 to 49, persons 18 to 34, females 18 to 34, and males 35-49. Rampage beat out the most recent SmackDown in terms of those particular demos. So there you go. Like I said, it seems like Rampage is right there when it comes to the demos. Total viewership still got ways to climb if you want to beat them in that, but the demos, I mean, they're right there. So interesting numbers there from this past Friday night. From the buy-in and Rampage and SmackDown. So, but speaking of the buy-in, one of the key marquee matches on the buy-in was Bryan Danielson taking on Minoru Suzuki. And look, when I tell you, I don't think I've seen, that's the most physical, stiff match, whatever you want to call it, I think I've seen in AEW. Did you see that match?
Oh, heck yeah. Do you think Bryan got concussed and was throwing up blood like he did in WWE after this one?
Well, I don't know, because it's one of those things.
Those elbow strikes were crazy.
And I tell you what, I mean, they made that look and it might have been real. I don't know if Suzuki really knocked him out, because, I mean, he hit him that one of those first elbow shots to the face. I mean, Danielson just dropped, and it sounded so good.
Yeah. Cut his cheek.
Yeah, and like I said, that was crazy. But I know Danielson, obviously, the next night came out and fought. He wrestled Bobby Fish, and boy, the whelps on his chest went away for the most part. It's crazy how those can go away in 24 hours like that. But yeah, that was just a crazy match. I didn't get a chance to go watch it again, but man, that was something. I enjoyed every minute of that match. That was awesome. That was like the most New Japan like match they've had ever in AEW so far. I mean, it was stiff, physical. I felt like these guys were really like hitting each other, like they were like legitimately fighting. And they, at some point, I mean, they probably were, but it was amazing.
Yeah, and what's even more amazing, Suzuki's like 53 years old. And this guy's been doing it forever. He started in mixed martial arts. He was the king of pancrase, like they said on AEW. But, like, how is this guy's body able to stay intact at the age of 53 when he's been doing this strong style forever?
I think it's the New Japan or the Japanese mentality, the toughness of these guys, because all those guys in Japan, you got some older guys. Yuji Nagata, that I can think of off the top of my head. There's another guy I'm trying to think of.
The Great Muta?
Yeah, I mean, the Great Muta had a very, long career. So, and obviously those guys, I mean, their matches are so physical, and I always wonder, how can these guys have such longevity in their careers? And it's quite amazing that they can do that. But I think it's all, because all these guys go through, I forgot what they call it, but like they start as young lions or something like that, and they go through their I think it's called an excursion and stuff. And I think there they kind of learn the mentality of, you go through all this pain, but you don't feel the pain. And it's just that mentality of the Japanese in professional wrestling where they just don't let pain is not an excuse. No pain, no gain, I guess, is a way you can term it. But I think it also goes back to the mentality that they are built with when they go on these excursions and whatnot and really learn that Japan style of pro wrestling.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like, that match should have been, main event on Dynamite.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was put on a buy-in, which obviously people are still seeing it. Over 1 million people have seen it.
Yeah.
But, like, man, the fact that we got that quality of a match on a YouTube video.
Yeah, I was thrilled to turn on YouTube at 8:00 on Friday night. I had no problem switching over from SmackDown to YouTube to watch that match, and it was one of those things where, obviously SmackDown added 30 minutes to go into Rampage. So Tony Khan said, "Well, hey, if you're gonna do that, then I got Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki. I'm gonna put that on YouTube." So it just goes to show you that Tony Khan is he's like, hey, look, if you guys want to do that, well, I got something else for you right here. So there you go. But it was a great match. I'd watch it over and over again. I mean, it was, if you like that New Japan style, that's what Jonathan Brinkman told me. He was like, yeah, that's the most New Japan-like match I've seen in AEW so far, and he loves that style of wrestling, so he was all for it. But really physical, stiff match, great match. At times it makes you concerned for Brian Danielson's concussion health or whatever you want to call it after that beating he took, but he won the match, so it was great.
And another match I was pumped up for, not only because of Ty Conti's backside, but a few weeks ago we were talking about the return of WOW Women in Wrestling, and I was saying, I wonder if Santana Garrett's going to show up over there to, fight Tessa Blanchard for the title. Yeah. Well, Santana Garrett showed up on AEW, and I was really pumped until the match started, and Santana Garrett was straight garbage in the ring. She was worse than Ruby Soho, dude. I thought I'd never say that.
Yeah, I wasn't paying too close of attention.
That match was garbage.
I didn't pay too close attention to that match because I was just waiting for Minoru Suzuki and Bryan Danielson. But, I don't know much about Santana Garrett, but, like I said, it was I don't pay too much attention. At least in that particular time, I didn't pay too much attention to that particular match just because, like I said, I was waiting for Danielson and Suzuki, and I kind of flipped back and forth on the buy-in until we got to Danielson and Suzuki. I was flipping back and forth between SmackDown and that, but yeah, I got nothing for that match. No comment on that match.
Bobby Fish kind of looked like a badass.
Yeah, Bobby Fish. Yeah, I mean, Bobby Fish is solid. He's he's a good guy to get in there and really get it done. He had a good match with Danielson on Dynamite on Saturday night. So. All right, let's move on now. We mentioned Tony Khan a while ago, and there were some comments made by Eric Bischoff on his 83 Weeks podcast. This is what he said. This is what Eric Bischoff said. He said, if Tony were to call me and ask for any advice, here's what it would be. Shut up and wrestle, dude. Just put out the best product you can, and you've proven you can. Focus on that. This is weird coming from me, right? The guy that challenged Vince McMahon, the guy that gave away all of the finishes. But here's the difference. I was actually competing with them. I was going head-to-head, real head-to-head. My show started the same time his show started every week. Let's see. It says right here, as far as Khan saying he wouldn't make the same mistakes as Khan, that makes sense. Bischoff said, Tony, you're inventing some mistakes, and continued, I'm a little disappointed in the rhetoric I'm hearing out of Tony as well as some of the talent, man. Shut the fuck up until you're actually competing and you're actually competing favorably. And by the way, Tony, in 1996, I was kicking WWE's ass every week in a real head-to-head competition, not a cosplay competition. So that's what Eric Bischoff had to say to Tony Khan. Yeah, I know. That's some crazy words. Now, number one, at the beginning, he said, if Tony were to call me and ask for advice, well, guess what, Eric? No one called you and asked for advice. So maybe he has before, but and I do kind of see where Eric is coming from in a sense, because it seems like, you know, as AEW is getting momentum, Tony's starting to get a little louder on social media and starting to clap back at people to an extent and really start to, you know, get confident. And sometimes, you know, that confidence may turn into a little cockiness. And, you know, if I'm Tony, if I'm you, I know you got a lot of money. I know you got the hottest wrestling product in professional wrestling right now. But let's not get too cocky and, you know, and run this train off the tracks here. So you got something good going, and Tony's starting to get, you know, seems like he's starting to get a little more involved here in terms of getting on Twitter and kind of clapping back at people. So I don't know what to think about that. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, you know, I don't want Tony Khan to start biting off more than he can chew here.
Yeah, and I think what brought Eric Bischoff to bring that up is, you know, we were talking before the show of how I watched him on Wrestling, the Barstool Wrestling podcast. And, you know, he's not cringy as I thought he was after that ECW tribute. He actually sounded like a, you know, a nerdy but cool guy. But, you know, on there, they talked about WCW's mistakes and how, you know, he studies wrestling history, and he's not going to make the same mistakes that Eric Bischoff made and stuff like that. So I think that may have rubbed Eric wrong, you know, bringing his name into that podcast, saying that he was a failure pretty much.
Yeah, that could very well be a reason why Eric definitely clapped back kind of at Tony a little bit. And it's crazy because, you know, Eric Bischoff has made appearances on AEW before too, so I figured they might have a decent little relationship there, but it seems like Eric is like,
not anymore.
Yeah, apparently not anymore. So I don't know, but
won't be getting that booking anytime soon.
I guess not. But yeah, some interesting comments there from Eric Bischoff to Tony Khan. And like I said, I kind of agree with Eric just a little bit, but at the same time, I like some of the things Tony's doing by really getting out in front and saying, "Hey, look, man, I got the hottest thing going right now." And he's not lying when he's saying how good his product is, but at the same time, I don't want him to at some point say something or do something where he's going to bite off more than he can chew. So we'll see what happens. But I think Tony's a pretty smart guy, and I think he's going to be able to cash a check that or how's the saying go? Write a check that your butt can't cash. I think his butt is able to cash most of the checks that his mouth writes or whatever. I don't know, something like that. So
yeah, and you think Eric Bischoff would have been a great hire as a consultant for AEW, because he could have gave the inside scoop of, okay, Tony, this is kind of looking like where I was going. Here's where I messed up. Here's what I suggest that you do type things.
Yeah.
Like learn from his mistakes.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like in that interview, I think Tony Khan mentioned something about how he kind of studied WCW and kind of saw where they made mistakes. And so I think Tony is aware of where WCW probably did make mistakes. So I think Tony, hopefully, he knows, you know, don't make those mistakes.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the board meetings or the creative meetings where Eric could say, look, you know, we started listening to these guys when we had these ideas that would have worked, but these guys kind of won over the room, you know, and, you know, stuff like that. Well, behind the scenes type stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, very interesting comments from Eric Bischoff. So definitely wanted to get our thoughts in on that. Yeah, it's and like I said, that might light a fire under Tony Khan's ass, and I'm all for it. So
I would love to see Tony Khan make an appearance on 83 Weeks.
That would be a very that might be Eric Bischoff's most listened to episode to date if he gets Tony Khan on there for sure.
And they could just hash it out.
Yeah, they can, certainly. Would love to see Eric Bischoff help out old Tony Khan. And I think with those comments, in a way, he at the same time, while he was probably trying to, you know, clap back at Tony, Also, I think he kind of wanted to help Tony a little bit with those comments as well. Like, Tony, you got a good product. Just shut up and, put your best product out there. So I think that's, while Eric Bischoff kind of wanted to get back at Tony, at the same time, I think he kind of wanted to help him with those comments as well. Tough love, if you will, is what I think Eric Bischoff kind of was maybe trying to give off there.
Yeah, he's like, you keep clapping the back on social media like this, you're going to wake up the real beast in Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be sorry that he sees you as competition.
Yeah, you're right. Because they always say Vince performs the best when his back's against the wall. So we'll see what happens there. All right, it's time for Rumor Mill. David, you got some Rumor Mill stuff for us there.
Yeah, boy. Braun Strowman met with Impact Wrestling Scott D'Amore in Detroit this past weekend, according to PW Insider, and they had a really long chat. Now, we've been hearing some stuff, the past few months that Impact Wrestling is a real player in getting Braun Strowman. It seems like everything's moving, and the fact that WWE people are saying, and anonymously, the only people that are having conversations about Braun Strowman and the WWE is Braun Strowman's people. So it seems like he's going to have to find with somebody else.
Yeah, and I think he would be an okay fit for Impact Wrestling. Obviously, I think he wants to go back to WWE ultimately, but it doesn't seem like WWE really wants him back, at least not right now. I mean, they may want him back later. And then I also saw an article where Braun Strowman, he commented on if he's been in talks with AEW, and this was his response. He said, yeah, we've sat down and discussed stuff like that with my agent and things like that. We're just trying to find a fit right now where everything kind of will work together, since now there's so many things that I'm working on in my personal life. I don't have as much time to devote to the full-time schedule to wrestle now, so it's trying to find somewhere where I'll be able to land in there to show up, have fun, and entertain the people, but still be able to work on my side projects along the way. So I obviously, I guess the thought of going to AEW has been there at times, but it doesn't seem like anything too serious is going on there. So it seems like right now, the most serious talks he's had with anyone outside of WWE is with Scott D'Amore of Impact Wrestling. So I guess at this point, if we do see Braun Strowman wrestling at any point, it's going to be with Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, and it seems like maybe AEW would be a better fit for what he's wanting to do, because obviously he would just film once, possibly twice a week, no house shows, and then, a pay-per-view every month or so. I just,
the thing about Braun Strowman is I just don't see him as, with his, just him in general fitting in with the style of wrestling that AEW has. I mean, he's a big, powerhouse kind of guy. And granted, AEW has their guys. They got Powerhouse Hobbs. They got Wardlow. They got Lance Archer. And, they got, I would say the Big Show. They got too, even though he doesn't wrestle that much. But I don't know. I just don't feel that Braun Strowman is the best. I think he'd be an okay fit with AEW. I think anyone could be an okay fit with AEW if they're good enough. But I think Braun, I just see him as a WWE guy at the end of the day. I could see him fitting in better with Impact than I would with AEW. And if he does go with Impact, who knows? Maybe a relationship with AEW there can start, and maybe he can have like a 1 or 2 off in AEW. I think that would work okay for Braun Strowman.
Speaking of comebacks in AEW, did you see at the end of the buy-in that Leo Rush is going to make a comeback?
Yeah, he's and I watched Dynamite on Saturday. Apparently, him and old Dante Martin of Top Flight, they're gonna, because Dante Martin's tag team partner has been injured and hasn't seen action for a while, and it doesn't seem like he's gonna be back anytime soon. So Dante Martin's been kind of riding solo, but now it appears Leo Rush is gonna maybe tag with Dante Martin, so that could be a very interesting tag team right there.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to create like a faction, because on the little package they had on buy-in, supposedly he's scouting Matt Sydal pretty hard too.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd be curious to see what kind of faction Leo Rush puts together.
Insider also says that Impact will be working on several surprises for Bound for Glory this year. Obviously, Braun Strowman might be one of them. What are some other people that got released that they may be big surprises?
Well, I know the Inspirations are going to be there, formerly known as the Iconics.
Man, I was hoping to see them in AEW. Dang it.
Well, here's the thing. When you work with Impact Wrestling, the door to AEW is kind of right there. So you can't, if you're working with Impact, you can't rule out the possibility of them going to AEW. But I think this is a good start for them post WWE to go to Impact Wrestling.
God, they would have been perfect with Britt Baker.
I would not disagree with you there, but like I said, I think they'll be okay in Impact Wrestling.
The Observer notes that current planned main events for Madison Square Garden on December 26th are Big E versus Bobby Lashley, and I said Ashley, didn't I? Bobby Lashley and the WWE Championship, and Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair.
Well, anytime they go to Madison Square Garden, they always try to put on the best show they possibly can. It's always a pretty big show. Those sound like some good matches to me. So I'm all for it. I'm curious to see. I don't know if those are going to be on TV or not. I'm trying to think. 26th is going to be maybe. Is that going to be a Sunday or Monday? I don't know. I don't know if those are going to be on TV or not.
I'm pulling up the calendar right here. 26th is a Sunday.
Okay, so that's going to be probably just like a house show kind of deal.
According to WrestleVotes, the Friday night ratings were in all caps, hot topic backstage at Raw last night, according to Matt Men's Andrew Zarin.
I saw a thing where Shane Helms, formerly known as the Hurricane, he works backstage with WWE, and apparently he said something like, no one was really talking about it. So I don't know. Maybe some people were talking about it. It could have been a hot topic. I don't know. I would love to know if it was a hot topic, what kind of things were said back there. But maybe Shane Helms is trying to just kill that story. I don't know. Keeping things in-house. But I'd love to know what kind of conversations are being had backstage when it comes to things of that nature. Ratings, what's AEW up to and whatnot, because I do believe those conversations are happening to an extent. The only question is who's having those conversations. Is it upper management? Is it just superstars in the back shooting the shit? Or, is it who's having those conversations? That's what I would love to know. And what are the substance of these conversations? But I feel like that's something we'll never really know until, way after those conversations are had.
Yeah, and they've had to have felt the effect somehow. I don't know if it's, merch sales or, maybe numbers on the Peacock Network. I don't know. But for guys like me who stuck with WWE or WWF through the Attitude Era, through the Monday Night Wars, and then all of a sudden, now that AEW is here, we could give a damn less about WWE. They've had to have felt that in some way.
Yeah, you're right, because obviously during the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era, WWE's product was as hot as it ever was. And now the product, even before AEW got here, the product was starting to really fall apart. And then, you had a lot of those wrestling fans starting to tune in to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, where you had all the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, you had Kenny Omega really carrying the torch over in New Japan, and now they've all come together to start a major wrestling company here in the United States to really challenge WWE in terms of popularity and the product and whatnot. So, yeah, it's that's the thing. I think AEW is catching WWE at a really good time because their viewership is at an all-time low. Their product is not as good as it once was. They don't have the star power that they used to have. I could definitely see that where WWE's kind of feeling that,
The Matt Men podcast also reporting that WWE will bring back the Retro Raw concept in January.
Is that going to be now? Because I did see something about that. I don't know. Someone said that they might bring it back. Like, is it going to be for one night only, or is it going to be like?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, I would assume it's going to be for one night only. I mean, Obviously they do things like this, and it's nice to do things like this every now and again. But I feel like sometimes they may do this just because they're desperate for ratings, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I always enjoy seeing old superstars come back, making appearances, and kind of intertwining with the new guys, making some storylines happen and whatnot. So I'd be all for it. I'd be all for it, too, to see if they tried, to see if they can do it like every week. Not necessarily every week, but I don't know, maybe get like an old look to Raw or something. I don't know. That's a thing. Like, it feels like Raw needs something, and maybe a retro kind of Raw or a retro feel to it is maybe what they need. So,
and speaking of, what's the word that I'm looking for here? You just said it, but I just forgot it.
Change,
well, anyways, they've dropped the ball with this legit badass and his smoke show of a girl. WrestleVote says WWE is changing up Karrion Kross's presentation again. Kross will be more of a psycho, yet still calm and cool. They also say his theme music and entrance will change, and still no Scarlett.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they know what to do with Karrion Kross, and in NXT, I mean, he had it going on, and I know there was some backstage stuff. I don't know if he was hard to work with or whatever the case may be, and then they had the whole thing where Jeff Hardy beat him, and then that was kind of the beginning of his downfall. But yeah, I don't know. They're dropping the ball with this guy, because when Triple H had a hold of him in NXT, I mean, he looked like a legit badass, and now they're screwing him up just like they've done numerous people on the main roster. I don't know. Hopefully they can figure it out with Karrion Kross, because they got something good there. And why they have not implemented Scarlett Bordeaux yet, I have no idea. But hopefully they smarten up and realize they got something good here, and they book them right and get Scarlett with them. So, because I think because this guy, in my opinion, was like kind of the breath of fresh air that maybe the main roster needed. And then when he got there, they just kind of dulled him down, watered him down, really. So hopefully they turn him around and get him going and do something good with him.
Besides Demon Finn, one of the coolest interests in wrestling history.
I mean, if you talk about all of wrestling history, obviously you got to mention The Undertaker. But maybe today, yeah, like in the last couple of years, yeah, Karrion Kross has had top 2 or 3 entrances in all of WWE.
I bet you, I mean, I'm pretty sure that that little shoot video that Mick Foley put out, I mean, rang so true to Karrion Kross, and he's just waiting for that contract to expire to give them the double birds.
That could be a possibility, too. Obviously, some guys...
That'd be the hottest free agent in years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Adam Cole Baby was a pretty hot free agent there for all of 2 weeks, but... yeah, I mean, that could also be a possibility. We've seen a number of guys do that already and jump ship over to AEW. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'll be curious to see what they do with him, to see if it works. But the way they've handled him so far, I'm not confident that's going to happen.
Boy, speaking of Adam Cole, I thought we almost saw a heel turn with Jungle Boy when he ran up on the Super Click the other day and started beating up Adam Cole, baby.
A heel turn from...
He's wearing all black?
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I don't know. I mean, I guess, I don't know if he's just trying a new look or what the deal is. I don't know. I don't see a heel turn with Jungle Boy, though. He's got the whole cool entrance thing where the crowd waves back and forth with, and he's got Jungle Express, their good thing going. So I don't see a heel turn coming from Jungle Boy anytime soon.
Yeah, but at the same time, historically, that's something that the face just doesn't do.
Yeah, but I feel like AEW is, one of those. They're a company that goes against the grain when it comes to heel and face. I mean, they still do it, don't get me wrong, but they may not follow the traditional guidelines when it comes to what a heel and what a face does. So
it looks like we're probably going to get a program with Jungle Boy and Bebe. This is going to be amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking those two were going to wrestle each other at Full Gear, I think. So I know there was like a leaked card that apparently Tony Khan had on a notebook that got leaked, but and I think that might have been one of the matches, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but definitely. I mean, since day one. I mean, when Adam Cole debuted, he the first guy in the company to get a super kick was Jungle Boy. So right there, you basically set that up out of the gate. So that'd be a fantastic match, though.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's a show, Patrick.
Yeah, man, really good show again this week. A lot of good things to look forward to coming up here. We got Crown Jewel coming up in a couple of days. AEW is going to continue their momentum. Looking forward to Full Gear coming up in a handful of weeks, actually a little less than a month away from now as well. So a lot of fun things to look forward to here coming up in pro wrestling.
Yeah, if you're looking to help your boys out and support the show, you like what we do and you want to keep it going, maybe so we can afford some new equipment, or maybe get our own office building where we can start our own recording studio, that'd be dope. One of the easiest ways that you can help us out is by going to our Amazon affiliate link. It's tinyurl.com/Amazon AMP. That's Amazon AMP. What that will do, that will send you straight to Amazon. That's our affiliate link. Anytime you make a purchase from that link, we will get a commission. Nothing will be added to your cart. You'll be paying the same thing as if you just went to Amazon.com. But when you use tinyurl.com/Amazon AMP, a commission comes back to us for sending you to Amazon. Now, save that on your browser, whether it's on your phone or whether it's on your computer. Title it Amazon, and every time you go and get Christmas presents coming up, or maybe some decorations for Thanksgiving or Halloween, make sure you use that link right there, and your boys will get a little commission. All right, Patrick, get us out of here, son.
Outro.
You've been listening to the Average Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast with David Boston and Patrick Fry. All opinions discussed in the show are those of Average Marks and do not represent any wrestling company, organization, or individual. This has been a Lake Area Media, LLC production.